All right, everyone. Here we are with some multiple choice questions on our compliance reporting, supplementary information, and we're starting off with a question on comfort letters. Now, comfort letters are usually addressed to the client's underwriter of securities and signed by the client's what? So, remember, let's think back to the purpose of these letters. What's the point? So it's not a full-on audit, right? It's just kind of a little bit of a reassurance, we'll call it. And I do have an excerpt from our lesson for you. So take a look if this, something you haven't seen in a bit. I mean, it was just right here in the lesson, but take a look, right? So the auditor should sign a comfort letter and provide or address it in connection with financial statements included in a securities offering only to underwriters or another party that would be receiving this letter. So in this case, it is going to be that independent auditor, right? That's the whole point. The independent auditor has to provide that comfort letter. All right, next up, positive assurance. So positive assurance and negative assurance, we're thinking back to that. We've seen it pop up in a few different lessons. It's provided with respect to what? Well, first, the financial statements, that's going to be reasonable assurance. We use positive and negative assurance to arrive at reasonable assurance for the financial statements. I'm not going to say it's none of the above because, spoiler, it is one of these. And then that leaves just the CPA's independence and a comfort letter. Now, I do have some resources for you, and let's take a look at those. So, comfort letters, right, provided from a CPA to an underwriter, restricted use. Now, there's positive assurance on the CPA's independence and compliance on form of financial statements if they are audited, right? So, we're looking back here. What has positive assurance? However, there's negative assurance on those unaudited financial statements or pro forma financial statements, right? And let's look here. Got some more items on negative assurance. So subjects that may be covered in a comfort letter include the fact that we are using negative assurance, right? So all of those reasons, all of those thought processes, we are going to arrive at the correct answer of a CPA's independence is going to have our positive assurance. All right, moving on. Which of the following is not included in the format and contents of a comfort letter? Well, a little bit of memorization, a little bit of thinking here. So what is not included? Well, let's think about it. Independence. We talked at length about how we need to be independent. Representations, right? We need to make sure, it's clear who has responsibility for what. Which parties have responsibility for which parts of this letter. So yes, we want to include that as well. That leaves just the auditor's report and the financial statement summary. So the auditor's report is going to be their comfort letter, right? It's going to be them talking about what happened there. So we are going to include that. However, in the comfort letter, we're not going to include a summary of the financial statements. That's just not what we're going to do. For reference, right? Some more coming back to what we saw in the lessons. Just want to make sure you remember all this. Final answer here is letter D, financial statement summary. Next up, which of the following applies to an accountant conducting a review of interim financial information? All right, so we are thinking about this and a review of interim financial information. And you likely have seen this in another lesson, or if you haven't seen it yet, you will see it in another lesson. There's just so much interconnected topics in the whole exam. Quite all right, all good here. So in review of interim financial information, are we going to apply tests of details, transactions? So tests of details, right? These are substantive procedures, and we only do substantive procedures during an audit. So using our rational deductive thought process, we're going to eliminate that. Should perform limited procedures. Well, if you remember, reviews of interim information. Yeah, that does sound pretty spot on, but let's keep reading along. Is not required to report omissions. So what are our thoughts here? So are we not required to report omissions? No, we are required. If we see something, say something, right? If we see an issue, we got to talk about it. We got to mention it. Hey, we're not doing a full audit, but if we see an omission in the financial statements, sorry, but you guys got to include the information there. And then lastly, the auditor should read the supplementary financial information. Well, that has more to do with the engagement for supplementary information rather than a review of interim financial information. So right here, right, talking a little bit more here. Feel free to pause again, take a read. Supplementary information, right? Blah blah blah. Perform limited procedures over any supplementary information to financial statements. And here we go. So limited procedures for our supplementary information in a review of financial information. Awesome. Lots of great deduction here, lots of reasons for eliminating wrong answers, and I think we are good to go. So thank you all for joining, and I'll see you next time.
Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.